Hey gang, so today is going to be another one of those tough love videos. So let's start off by being honest with each other, because I know I have thought this way on occasion, and I'm sure you guys have as well. And that is that motorcycling is much more dangerous now than it was 20 years ago. We see people out there on their cell phones. We see them smoking pot in the cars, drinking and driving. They have road rage and are just generally inattentive and uncaring. We feel that every time we throw our leg over the bike, that we are literally putting our lives at risk. But I guess two questions come up. I said, first, is that true? And then second, what are we going to do about it? One of the recurring comments I get whenever I do these safety-related videos is that we are basically all just sitting ducks out there waiting for some millennial snowflake on their cell phone to run us off the road and take our lives. And of course, whenever we get on the road, we do see people on their cell phones and doing stupid things. But it's human nature to focus on those things that we don't like or that we disagree with, we find dangerous, rather than looking around us and seeing all the people that are driving just fine. For example, if I get on the highway out here and I run down a couple of exits, I'm going to probably pass 100 cars between those two exits. And as I'm doing that, while I'm out there, I'm going to see a couple of people who are on their cell phones and driving really slowly in the middle lane, for example. Everybody else is doing just fine. So when I get to my exit, I get off and I sit down with my buddies to have a cup of coffee. What am I going to talk about? Am I going to tell them how, man, there were 98 people out there doing such a great job? Or am I going to bitch about the two people that I saw on their cell phones? Well, again, it's human nature. We're going to focus on the two idiots. So how many accidents and deaths are really caused by distracted drivers? Well, looking at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's numbers for 2021, they report that about 8% of all traffic fatalities in 2021 were caused by distracted drivers. Now, that's for all vehicle types. They also found that about 14% of all traffic-related injuries were caused by distracted drivers, and about 13% of all law enforcement reported crashes were caused by distracted drivers. In total, there were 3,522 vehicle-related deaths due to distracted drivers and over 362,000 injuries, again, related to distracted driving. Now, of course, we read those numbers and we think that that sounds like a lot. But remember, we are a country of 340 million people, and we travel more than 3 trillion miles by vehicle every year. Now, if we turn those numbers around, we can see that 92% of all traffic-related deaths are not caused by distracted driving, and 87% of all accidents, again, are not caused by distracted driving. So obviously, distracted driving is a problem. It needs to be addressed. There are more than 3,000 people killed each year because of that. Right? But it is just not rational to blame the rise in motorcycle-related deaths due to distracted driving, nor is it rational to be fearful of distracted drivers when you're out there having fun on a weekend on your motorcycle. Right? There are just a lot more potential dangers to worry about than just distracted driving. Distracted drivers have always existed ever since the automobile was invented. Right? There have always been people who eat while driving, drink while driving, who shave on their way to work and put their makeup on while on the way to work. Right? Again, this is not something new. And I would propose to you that navigating a busy intersection is not much different today than it was 20 or 30 years ago. Now, most of the motorcycle community's efforts to reduce deaths and accidents has been centered around trying to educate the driving public to look out for we motorcyclists. We take the approach that they're to blame and they need to look out for us. Essentially, we are the victims of their inattentiveness. Right? We put out yard signs, we do Facebook posts, we have signs on the highways that say look out for motorcyclists. But I ask you, has any of this done any good whatsoever? Again, the answer is obviously no, because motorcycle deaths continue to rise. Now, I know a lot of you are going to disagree with me here, but I just don't think that this I'm a victim mindset is the approach that we need to take. It is not the other guy that we need to educate. It is us that we need to educate. Right? I am not going to allow other people's actions to dictate my life. Right? I am going to figure out a way that I can take control. Right? I can be in charge. Right? And make myself safer again through my own personal actions. So more tough love here. As I just mentioned, I don't think that it's the other guy that is the problem. It's unfortunately us. See, the average rider here in the United States only puts about 3,000 miles on their bike each year and is a rather casual rider. Right? They are not prepared when danger happens, either in their skill level or in the gear that they are wearing. My safety is not the responsibility of other people. It lies firmly in my lap. And I know I keep returning to this concept over and over again in my videos, but I think it's essential that each of us, I know it is in my life, that I stop blaming other people for the things that are going on, for my safety and for my happiness. I'm going to take control of it. I'm not giving that control to other people. So I'm going to take that responsibility and make sure that I am prepared when something dangerous happens in front of me. Now, of course, I am not perfect. I do make mistakes pretty much every time I ride. But I've been lucky enough that those mistakes are always small and I'm able to recover and learn from them. So I've put together a series of attitudes and behaviors that I've adopted to keep myself safe. And rather than repeat myself here, I'm going to point you to a video I made a few months back. Now, of course, there are some other passive measures that we can use to help keep ourselves safe. And that would be to add driving lights or wear high-vis gear. But again, I emphasize that these things are passive. You are relying on the other guy, the other drivers out there to see those things and then respond appropriately. And most of them do, but there's always that 2 to 3% who aren't watching, who might see you but still not judge how far away you are or how fast you're going. It's difficult when they're looking at a motorcycle. All right, so you can't assume that anybody is going to act differently, change their behavior just because you're wearing a high-vis jacket or have lights. You still need to drive like you're invisible, all right, and still watch out for everybody else. As I said, I live in a suburban community outside of Boston, Massachusetts. Right, and traffic is quite often an issue for me. It's just something that you have to deal with. On every ride, somebody will pull out in front of me, usually more than one, and more than one person will cross that yellow line. Right? And they've been doing this for the 30 years that I have been living here. Right? It's not something new that has come on since people got cell phones. Right? It's just the way people are back here. So you either learn to deal with it or you stop riding. For me, looking at your safety on the motorcycle is like anything else in life. Right? It really depends upon your focus and your attitude. Right? You can focus at all of the problems that are out there and you can give in to the fear, right, of what other people might do, right? Or you can focus on what you have control of and you can make sure that you are the best trained, the best practiced, the best skilled, right, to avoid all of those potential dangerous situations. So if I do that, well, then I can limit my risk and continue enjoying my rides. All right, guys, ride safe out there.